So this week I am asking the question, has sleep become a luxury? Has your sleep become a luxury to you? With that question in mind, it motivated me to go and look at one of my journals that I wrote in the early 90s, right? So we're talking, about 20 odd years ago. And in that journal, I had written about an experience of going to a concert, which is not something uncommon, right? But I'd gone into detail about going to this concert. It was a indoor reggae concert with a well-known Jamaican artist, and this person was performing at a well-known club in New York, and I was living in New York at that time. So the event took place on a Thursday, and I recall that I had gone with a group of people. We had met up, and I had kind of been gauging my time in terms of the concert, what time it would start, anticipating what time it might end, because I knew that going to a Thursday night concert, might be an issue because I did have work the next morning. But like I said, this was 20 odd years ago, right? So my focus in terms of how much time I would have to sleep was very different than now, right? So like I said, I had gauged the concert would be starting around 9 p.m. and I said, okay, if this person performs for about a good, solid 2 to 3 hours, we'll probably leave there between, let's say, midnight and 1, right? Head home, give it a 1 hour window to get home, so I'll be able to be in bed, I'm estimating, right, by about 2 o'clock. And in all that, I'm saying, okay, so that'll give me about 4 hours sleep. I get up at 6. Yeah, I'll have time to get myself ready and head to work. And even if I'm feeling a little bit tired, that's okay, because I would have the weekend to rest, right? And that is the thinking that I had at that stage in my life. Well, lo and behold, the concert did not go quite as planned, because the performer actually didn't start until 2 hours later, right? And I do remember that I probably got home around 3-4 o'clock in the morning, grabbed about 2 hours sleep, was up, was feeling very tired, but got to work on time and kind of just had my head low all day at work, right? And yeah, I caught up on the sleep over the weekend. No big deal. That's what you do at that stage. So as I'm finishing reading this part of the journal, I'm laughing and I'm saying, who was that person? Was that me in my young adult years? Because I cannot tell you the last time that I've gone out midweek, gotten home like 3-4 in the morning, knowing that I have work. I just don't do it anymore. I think at the stage that I just described, you don't think about sleep in the same way. You focus on going out, having a good time, and then sleep becomes like something that you can catch up on quickly and then continue on with your life, right? Now, when I think about going out somewhere, when I think about attending any kind of event, I usually gauge sleep a lot differently than I did. That is why I am asking this question now. Has sleeping become a luxury? I am thinking about when I was in my young adult years, 20s and 30s, I absolutely can say that I took sleeping for granted, right? I would do things like that, go to concerts and events during the week, knowing that I had to work the next day. And the mindset, my attitude was that it was more important to experience the events themselves as it was to sleep. I was young, well, much younger, much more vibrant, and I knew that the key thing was to attend these events, and then sleep would take care of itself. Now, my attitude has changed because as I'm in this midlife stage, I see that sleep is one of the key things I consider before I think about going out, especially during the week. And if I do go to an event on the weekend, I always take a look at how long I will have in terms of being able to rest up. Now, I will be the first to admit that for me, when I attend an event now, I do need time to recuperate. And what I mean by that is that it takes me a while to get back to my fully functioning self. So if I'm going somewhere and I know that I'm going to be attending a social event, a party, a concert, whatever, that I need time to come back and sleep, rest, and just get back to myself. It seems that at this stage in life, the mind and the body are not as cooperative as they were, when I was in my 20s and 30s, So think about that question based upon your own experience, your young adult self then versus your more mature self now. Funnily enough, even as I'm discussing this topic about sleep, I'm thinking back to when I first came to live stateside, how I was really fascinated that this was almost like a 24-hour society. The shops never closed, TV was constant and it stayed on morning and night. The lifestyle of people then was that they went to bed much later, were out and about on the streets much later, and everything seemed to always be open or on, and there was really, from my point of view, very little time that people had to rest. And it seemed a society that just never slept, never stopped, as opposed to what I remember growing up in London, where shops would close on Wednesdays, half days, and Sundays some shops never opened at all, and for the ones that did, they would open around noon. Also, that TV would shut down at a certain time each night. Now, mind you, I know that I'm going back a little bit, and people might say, well, that's such a long time ago, and what does that matter? The reason why I'm mentioning that is because I realize now that that 24-hour type of society is now almost worldwide, that no matter what country you go to, whether it's stateside or the UK or any other country that you may visit, we have become a 24-hour society worldwide. And if you think about it, how does that and how will that impact upon not only our current sleep patterns, but also on Generation Next, who are now growing up with the technology that never stops. It just is constant. See, my experiences in terms of sleep then versus now are based upon activities that I did at different stages in my life. These were times that were prior to major technology impacting upon, people's lives. Now we're in a time where technology is having a major impact upon something so basic, I would say, as sleep. So think about that in terms of your own self, your own sleep patterns. You don't even have to be middle-aged to think about this question of sleep. Has sleeping become a luxury for you? So in hindsight, I am answering my own question. Has sleep become a luxury? And from my own point of view, I would say yes, especially the physical and psychological benefits of sleep. I actually, at this stage in life, appreciate sleep more. I don't take it for granted as much as I did when I was younger. And I look at sleep more just as a great benefit towards trying to maintain good health. So I want to just end with a few tips for improving sleep. So one of them would be to get a good quality bed. A lot of my co-workers have been talking about this sensor bed that you download information to and from, and it gives you readings about how well you slept, if you've gone into REM sleep, how many times you get up at night, when you fall asleep, all this kind of information that you can use to improve the quality of sleep that you have. Another tip would be to have a routine at night so that you are unwinding from your day and kind of conditioning your mind towards going to sleep. And one of the things that is said about developing this routine is try not to tap into technology for at least 2 hours prior to going to bed. So TV off, maybe computer off, phone, and try to do things that do not involve technology as one way of creating a bedtime routine. Next tip would be listening to music, that kind of meditation music, the one that has the alpha beta waves in there. If you Google or you go on YouTube and you put in meditation music, the type that comes up, very light meditative music, helps the brain unwind and supposed to help you get into that sleep state. Another tip is drinking something warm before you go to bed, like a warm tea, no caffeine, or lemon water or water, as a way of helping to cleanse out the body, relax you, and help you towards your sleep. And then I think, as I just mentioned, just looking at sleep as good medicine. So making sure that you prioritize your sleep, make sure you get as much as you can. I think the average that is recommended for a grown adult would be around 8 hours. So just on a consistent basis, aim to get at least 8 hours of sleep per night or per day. And those are some of the tips I have towards improving your sleep. Give me some feedback based upon this question, because I really am interested to see how sleep patterns have changed for you, perhaps if you're around my age, how it's changed from your young adult years to now. And I would like to get your feedback in terms of the question, has sleeping become a luxury? I'm going to post information below, links that if you want to do some further research, look up some further information regarding sleep and sleep related topics, look in the description box below. Share this video, like this video, and subscribe So I thank you for sharing your time with me. I hope that my hindsight has and will inspire you, and that you will find your own way to blossom.